Hello everyone, I'm Tanya.
And I'm James.
Tonight on part 3 of the Greenbrier series, we visit the country's largest open-air museum in the Great Smoky Mountains.
And I'll give a little history about this attraction.
Then afterwards, stay tuned to the end as we visit the island at Pigeon Forge. If you want more information about the campground, please watch part 1, 2, and 4. Part 4 will post on April the 11th. We will have links in the description below.
While staying at Greenbrier Campground in Gatlinburg, there is so much to do in this area. So much, it's impossible to fit it all in 1 to 2 videos or in a 5-day trip. So on this trip, we chose several area attractions to visit. Like in part 2, we visited Dollywood for a Smoky Mountain Christmas, which is the most popular activity to do in this area. It can be crowded, or you can luck out like we did and go on a day that's a ghost town. On this day, we chose to go to the largest open-air museum in the Great Smoky Mountains. In my past, it's always been customary to visit when visiting the area, not realizing it until after we did this day. It was an hour and some minutes west from the campground. We went midday, which we should have went first thing in the morning. It's also about 40 miles from the campground, and in my era, I didn't pay attention to the distance and the time of how long it would take to actually get there. So be prepared for a journey if you choose this. We highly recommend this, especially if you've never done it before or if it's been a long time since you have. So before we get into this episode, I'll prepare you first. This will be a small history lesson of the largest open-air museum, some of which you may not have ever heard, or some you may have. I didn't until I did some research. And I can't take credit for the script I'm about to have in this video. It was taken from my source, but the video is ours. Now, let's get into it. This is something you would want to do early in the morning to enjoy the largest open-air museum in the Great Smoky Mountains. It would probably be a good idea to pack a lunch. There are many great picnic opportunities here. Cades Cove is the most popular destination and most visited park in the country. Cades Cove is a national park in the Great Smoky Mountains, in case you didn't know. This valley was home to many settlers before the national park was established, and native Cherokee Indians before that. Today, approximately 2 million visitors visit this park each year. There's archaeological evidence that people lived in the cove as early as 6500 BC. This isolated valley made this an attractive place for early farmers to live and settle. Today, you can still see their homesteads. Prior to 1797, Cades Cove was home to the Cherokee people. The current name came from the Cherokee leader known as Chief Kade, which is spelled with a K, not like the park spelling of Cade with a C. That's an interesting fact. The first permanent European settler in the cove was John Oliver and Lorena Fraser in 1818. This is their cabin. They struggled through the winters and survived on dried pumpkin seeds given to them generously from the Cherokees. Later, as time went on, William, fighting Billy Tipton, bought large tracts of land and sold it to his relatives. In the 1820s, more settlers came and built elaborate drainage systems, water mills, metal tools, and many settlements. As more Europeans settled in the Cades Cove Valley and created a self-sustaining community, the population grew to hundreds. A post office was established in 1833 and a mail route by 1839. The settlers built more homes, barns, churches, schoolhouses, and more as the population grew. Farmlands averaged between 150 to 300 acres. The area had telephone service by the 1890s. Pioneers brought things from Maryville, such as medicine and remedies such as camphorated oil, catnip, castor oil, and Epsom salts. In 1927, the states of Tennessee and North Carolina were well underway in purchasing land that would eventually become the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. It was at this time they purchased the land north of Cades Cove. The National Park Service worked with residents to purchase their land for the park, and for the most part was widely successful. Some residents were not eager to sell their land to the National Park Service. Several went to court to fight for their land, while others signed life leases that gave them rights to live on the property for the rest of their lives. This lease gave residents less money for their land and placed them under rules and restrictions set by the National Park Service. In the 1940s, the community in Cades Cove had largely dispersed and passed away. Functioning buildings like schools, post offices closed. Beginning in 1945, the National Park Service gave Cades Cove a historical area destination and began restoring the area. The cove has been preserved by the Great Smoky Mountains National Park to look much the way it looked in the 1800s. Today, the cove is the largest open-air museum in the entire Great Smoky Mountains National Park. Cades Cove still has original pioneer homesteads, barns, businesses, pastures, and farmland that serves as a fitting tribute to the hardy people who lived here in the days of yesteryear. There are so many things to do in this area that it may become overwhelming at times to figure out what to do next. So, another super popular place to visit is the island in Pigeon Forge. This place can settle the whole family with activities for all ages. You'll also find the Margaritaville Island Hotel here. You'll also find a plethora of great restaurants to choose here. This area is open to the public with no admission and free parking. Our favorite thing to do here in the island is the Great Smoky Mountain Wheel. This is a 200-foot climate-controlled Ferris wheel on steroids. You get a spectacular view from up here of all of Pigeon Forge. You'll also find over 80 shops and attraction here as well. They have everything from concerts to fireworks at different occasions throughout the year. You can check their website at www.islandinpigeonforge.com for more information and scheduled events. And starting early in November, you will also find the Winterfest Wonder of Lights Trail along the scenic Pigeon Forge Riverwalk Nature Trail. Winterfest is massive, and we absolutely missed the Old Mill District for the Winterfest driving tour of lights, so be sure to check that out. You can visit www.mypigeonforge.com for more information for times and special events for this and more. We visited 3 area restaurants and we put them in order, with number 1 being the most favored and number 3 being the least favored. We'll start with number 3, the Applewood Farmhouse Grill. So this can get confusing here. There are 2 Applewood restaurants. We were unaware of that at the time, but now I know. The one we ate at was the Farmhouse Grill, which is newer. The Applewood Farmhouse Restaurant is the original next to the barn. The menus are similar, but the rumor is the Farmhouse Restaurant is the favored best. Not sure if this is true. After all, our food was good at the grill, but at the bottom of our list of the 3 favored restaurants we ate at, the price to taste value was good. So number 2 and number 1 was really hard for us to choose which of these 2 we favored the most. So we're going to start with number 2 as Aunt Granny's. This restaurant is only accessible at Dollywood with a Dollywood park admission. So Tanya, if somebody was going to Dollywood and they wanted to go to the best restaurant that Dollywood had, what would it be?
I would say it'd have to be Aunt Granny's restaurant.
Well, you know what? Aunt Granny's is number 1 in USA Today's top 10 best theme park restaurants in the country.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And anyway, I'm being silly. But seriously, it really was a good experience, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They got little grannies going around serving it. It's kind of funny. We're getting our cheese biscuits right now. So you choose 3, and you choose 3 main dishes, 4 side dishes, and 1 dessert per person.
This is a country-style restaurant with granny-style home cooking. You'll find stuff like baked chicken, fried chicken and fish, mashed potatoes, green beans, cornbread, and biscuits, and so much more.
Hold on, but the menus can change from season to season.
Wait a minute. So the menu changes?
Yes.
Okay, so when we went during Christmas, we got like a Christmas menu.
Yes.
So somebody that go into summer might have something different.
Yes.
Okay.
Possibly.
Now the desserts were one thing that was different,
yeah,
right?
that changes.
Because that definitely was, because there were some, I can't remember what it was now, but there were some Christmas desserts.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. You also get unlimited complimentary Coca-Cola beverages. Do you know that?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You didn't know we did that? No, I'm just kidding. You knew we did that because we were there.
Yeah.
So how much did this cost per person? Because they charge you per person. It's all you can eat. So you can keep eating as much as you can possibly eat, right?
Yes.
Okay, so what was the price?
I believe it was 27 something a person.
So call it $27 a person. It's all you can eat, and it's really good. Now, another thing, when we went this day, the theme park was a ghost town. There wasn't many people there. I mean, so we were able to get a walk-up reservation and go right in. But I believe when it's busy, I'm just going to guess, you're probably going to go up there and have to get a reservations, and you're going to have to come back a couple hours later.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, because the restaurant has limited seating. It's not a huge restaurant. Our price to taste value is excellent. Very reasonable price for the quality of the all-you-can-eat food. Most of the time when you go to a all-you-can-eat restaurant, you get just average to below average quality food. This restaurant did not have that. It had excellent quality food. And number 1 on the list is Dolly Parton's Stampede Dinner Show. Here you got great food, adding in an awesome Christmas show, which placed this in number 1 in our opinion. This restaurant is to give you the feel of the way that Dolly would have ate in her childhood in Locust Ridge, nestled in the Great Smoky Mountains of East Tennessee of Sevierville. Your main dish is a tender, whole rotisserie chicken, which was delicious. It appears that the Christmas menu is slightly different than other times of the year. So, what we got was the original creamy vegetable soup, a hot homemade biscuit, tender whole rotisserie chicken, hickory smoked pork loin, buttery corn on the cob, a herb-based potato, and for dessert, a flaky apple pastry. Soft drink and tea is also included with your meal, which includes free refills. We got the cheap seats, but you still get a good view no matter where you sit, as you can see here. Before the show, they bring you into a room for a pre-show. During this pre-show, we had non-alcoholic strawberry daiquiris in souvenir boot cups for about $4 each. The Christmas version was very entertaining, but it was expensive, but you get 2 experiences here, so you have to make your own conclusion. Is this something for you and your family? Now, coming up next week, we conclude the Greenbrier series where we give a full, complete walk through all the sights and details of the campground. So be sure not to miss that. Until then, be sure to check out all the videos on the screen here.